Hello there, I'm Brother Tobit. This is going to be the first video on my channel. I'm just using the channel to upload thoughts, maybe respond to different ideas that are out there, a way to connect to people. Ultimately, I will be focusing all of my thought work here into a book that kind of gives a centrality to everything. But for this first video, I wanted to talk about how Jesus refutes Buddha. Buddhism is its core base belief is the idea of Anatman, is that there is no self, right? And Buddha used a similar argument to the ship of the Argonauts, where Buddha said, if you remove your hand, is your hand still yourself, right? The ship of the Argonaut is, you say you have a ship, and you periodically replace one of the planks with a new plank, while taking the old planks and rebuilding the ship. Once you replace all the planks and completely rebuild the ship, which ship is the original ship of the Argonauts? Is it the one made out of all new planks, or the ones made out of all old planks? People use this to refute the idea of the self. Jesus refutes this in the fact that he is the Logos. And Jesus refutes Buddha by his death and resurrection from the dead. Buddhism's fatal flaw, as I said, is Anatman, the fact that the self does not exist. It's an illusion. It's Maya, right? It's the Logos that unites all of the different logoi, right? Your hand, right? Your thoughts, your feelings, your archetypes, your body, your senses. These are all logoi, right? And it is yourself, the Logos, which unites all of these things into a common being, right? One coherent being. The I am that I am. And as a thing, it is distinguished by a name, like all things. Jesus is the human incarnation of the divine Logos, and thus is the center point, or the axis mundi, of all selfness and self-awareness, right? If there is no self, then how can anyone, let alone God himself, die for you to save you? The person who dies and the person who is saved neither exists. To be a person is to be a self. There is no meaning outside of the self, and the self here is not to be confused with the ego or the id. I know it's the same, there's no meaning outside of self. It sounds rather Luciferian or satanic, but I'm using the Jungian understanding of the self as well as, ego and id, right? It's the ego that thinks that, me, Tobit, is the definer of all things. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the thing that makes me, the self, right, is the definer of all things. And that ultimately is the I am that I am of the Bible. Yod He Vav He. So there's no meaning outside of the self, as only things with a personhood or a self can care about meaning or good and right or truth, right? A tree doesn't care about that because a tree doesn't have a self. A dog doesn't care about that because a dog doesn't have a self, right? The grass, the ground, none of that shit cares about it because it doesn't have a self. So pretty much, right? If you're just this can lead to a very materialistic understanding of reality too, right? When you bring in Western science into it, right? You're just a machine serving out your functions. There's no self, right? You're just this organic feeling machine that only serves out its functions and then dies, right? And so you might as well just roll over and die or go kill yourself, right? Because there's no meaning. So it's not like it's bad to kill yourself. But how can you kill yourself if yourself doesn't exist? Odd conundrum there, huh? The point is, someone died for you, specifically for you. A person. They died for a person. They didn't die for an illusion. They didn't die for a machine. They died for someone they cared about. And that person was Jesus, not Gautama Sakyamuni Buddha. No self is nothingness, and nothingness is death. Jesus ends death with his own death and resurrection. So, I hope that's coherent enough for everyone to understand. These aren't really structured. I'm recording this off phone, so I don't have a way to like create PowerPoint presentations and explain this like completely clearly. But just hope you know that you were loved, and that you do exist. You are a person, and the things you feel are valid. Just you can't go out of hand, obviously. And you know, Buddhism. A lot of people in the West think Buddhism is such a great thing that explains stuff, and to an extent, it is. I think Buddha's idea of samsara and the wheel of reincarnation um, explains what pagans believe in general, like on a more metaphysical level, right? The pagans, they had all the ritual work and how to achieve those spiritual ecstasies, but the Buddhists kind of have a more platonic understanding of it, right? And that's great for understanding because there's truth to that, but it's incomplete. And like I said, it leads to this idea of no self. If there's no self, then you can't care about right or wrong, and anything's possible. Leads to subjectivism, and it can also lead to materialism as well, right? The self is the one thing that is not material, right? Your thoughts and your feelings. Uh, what makes you you is not material, but your materiality makes you you just as much as your non-materiality too. So let's not get confused there. But yeah, just a quick response to some ideas in Buddhism. Let me know how you like this. We'll do some other videos with other ideas and stuff like that. But thank you, and peace be with you.